Okay everyone, what's up? It's Amira Crawford and it is Friday. Thank goodness. My baby's 1 year old now. She turned one yesterday, so some of my sad feelings have left and now we're focusing on the next journey and her 1 year old time, but I have a feeling that her 2-year-old tough times are going to come sooner than later, so please pray for me. But anyway, I decided to do a brief bonus video for the weekend, mainly around self-care and how important self-care is when you are applying to jobs. And this can be for two reasons. One, if you are actively in a job and are unhappy and looking for another role, it can be really frustrating to constantly receive we appreciate you applying, but we moved on with another candidate. It's the worst email you can get. And personally, I think the ones that are like, your skills are so impressive, but we went with somebody else. It's like, okay, you wanted to hand me a bunch of roses, but then gave them to somebody else. Just tell me if I'm not selected so I can move on. That's me though. For others who are, unemployed or have been laid off and you are looking for a new job, it can be really challenging because you feel naturally that pressure on yourself of, I need to pay my bills, I need to get a job, my child needs this, my family needs this. So it can be really, really frustrating. So what I recommend doing to handle not only the anxiety, but there can be some depression that comes with it. I'm not gonna lie, this really does impact your mental health, and that's something for you to definitely keep in mind and know that it's very natural for your mental health to not feel so great when you are unemployed. So I do recommend things like journaling. I'm not the best journalist, but I've been working on it. Okay, we'll see how it turns out. It's only been a week. Working out, I know some people are like, blah, but honestly, it really will. Even if you just go outside for a brief walk, I just did that with my daughter, it will really reset you. And then follow the 90-minute rule. So what I do is I devote 90 minutes to something that I know I don't want to do. And I usually do it in the morning because that's when I'm most awake, and that's once the baby's just kind of walking now around and she's entertained, and I will spend 90 minutes on applications and reaching out. Then I'll stop. And then later in the afternoon or in the early evening when the baby goes down to bed, I will do another 90 minutes. And this is how you form new habits in your life. And this 90 minutes can apply to anything. Maybe it's working out, maybe it's working on a project or working on your own business. That's where I spend one of my 90 minutes on, is working on my business and responding to clients and making sure that I am being proactive in my content, but also making sure that I am replying to people and their questions, because that's what I signed up to do. So if you are in a position where you feel like stuck and this is taking forever and I just sit here all day and I'm applying, stop. Apply for 90 minutes and move on. I did want to say though that if you are not hitting like a target list of what you want to do and you're just kind of applying to anything, you're going to be all over the map. You're going to have people who reach out for roles that you've never done or are not interested in doing simply because you're applying everywhere. So make sure in the different tools that you're using, and we will do a tool review next week on different tools you can be using to find employment, make sure that you are targeting a certain role. If you are trying to switch fields, that is different. Definitely reach out for consulting on that one, because I do have some information that would be very helpful to you. But if you are trying to stay in the same field and perhaps move up to a more senior level, then you need to be searching and applying for those and reading the fine print, because some of them will say remote, but it's really hybrid. Some of them will say remote, but it's 50% traveling. That is not remote. Some will say work evenings and weekends. For some, that may be fine. For me, that's not an option because I have a daughter and a family that I need to take care of, and a husband who I think would be rather frustrated if I was working every weekend and every evening. So make sure you read that fine print too, and then be sure to research the company. Go on Glassdoor, read the reviews, and while I caution Glassdoor reviews to the extent that if there are sporadic reviews where you can tell that it's a disgruntled employee or it's somebody who just was more of a one-off situation, fine. But if you're starting to see like the same consistent, I always hit most recent comments, but if you're seeing the same consistency across a company's reviews about like bad leadership, bad pay, bad benefits, get rid of that company and move on to one where you're going to see the people who actually work there are going to provide their salary and also provide their experience, because that's going to be really helpful for you. I hope this helps and have a wonderful weekend. Bye.